Hello, my name is Brian and we are located in Southern California in the Los Angeles area. And today we're going to be doing a walk around of our Harbor Freight Tools greenhouse that we erected at the end of February 2018. And our greenhouse is approaching 4 years old now. And if you're looking into purchasing a greenhouse, hopefully this video will be helpful. This is once again a 6x8 greenhouse and the panels are starting to disintegrate. And we're going to need to replace some of the panels soon. And this is once again after about 3 years. So far this greenhouse has been holding up pretty good. One of the things I didn't expect is the rust on some of the screws. It's not an issue so far. As far as the door, it's still working pretty well. It's sliding well. Some of the weather seal elements have disintegrated, but it's not a crucial part. And then when we come inside, we use our greenhouse as also our YouTube video studios for select videos, and we also have some things growing in here in ground and then also in some pots sometime. The vent mechanisms are still working well. The rust is prevalent on a lot of the screws, so let me find something that's a little bit better lighting here. So we have some rust on the nuts and screws. So far, not an issue. Everything else is holding up pretty well. On this side, however, one of the panels, the screw and bolt needs to be tightened, so we may have an issue with tightening it if the screw is actually rusted. And when we look on over here on this side of the greenhouse, the panels are actually pretty good. They're still pretty rigid, and that's because on this side of the greenhouse it's protected from sunlight and also wind. So once we talk about wind, you're going to want to make your decision on whether to purchase a greenhouse like this or not based on the amount of wind you get. And there are a lot of videos of building greenhouses, these types of greenhouses, to protect them against the wind, and that helps keep this thing together structurally. But over time, that wind is going to break down the panels more quickly. So if you are in a very windy area, I would advise that you consider another option, because the panels may not last 3 years. And when we are looking to replace the panels, we got a Sunlight 24 by 48 inch panel that is roughly 8 millimeter in thickness, and this is double the thickness of the 4 millimeter that is typical. And this sheet runs about $29. We got a thicker panel because on this side of our greenhouse where it's exposed to sunlight, these panels are disintegrating. They're just barely holding up, and as long as there's not a lot of wind pushing on the panels, we can just keep them as they are for as long as we can. This panel, however, got the brunt of the last wind storm that we got, and it's cracked in half, so we are forced to replace it. Elsewhere where the panels get sun damage, they get really brittle, and once again, as long as it doesn't move, the panels will still be intact and keep the moisture and heat in here for the most part. Let's see if we can look at some of the tight shots of the panels. So you can see over here, they start to disintegrate. So if you barely touch them, or if your kid throws a soccer ball in the direction of the greenhouse, it will crack like this. So those are some of the concerns about these types of greenhouses. It's the cost of maintenance down the line. In California, we have very intense sun, so these panels in direct sun will start to break down in about 3 years. And furthermore, if you're in a very windy area, those panels are going to not only break down but fall apart, break apart. So over here you can notice on this side where the sun hits, the panels are very, very discolored. And then as we move over here to where the shade is, the panels aren't discolored, and you can even see that it's translucent all the way to the back. So this is our greenhouse update. So far, it's a pretty good greenhouse. You just have to take into account the maintenance of a greenhouse like this down the line, and whether you choose this greenhouse or not, I really think should be dependent on your environmental variables like wind and UV intensity. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching, And please be sure to check our channel for other interesting videos, including garden updates.